Linda, how are you doing?
Good.
All right, did you do anything fun today?
Yeah, I went to document them preparing food boxes at the main campus at McLean Bible Church. They're giving out 10,000 pounds of food a week.
Oh my gosh.
And the student center looks like a food warehouse.
Wow.
Yeah.
So last time that we did this video, we were in your kitchen and we were talking about your refrigerator. And on the refrigerator, you said there was a little sticky that said "Think White."
Yes.
And as you were pointing to that refrigerator, I noticed something on your hand.
Yeah, it's scars.
So there was a lot of scars. What are they about? Can you talk a little bit about them?
Yeah, it was a very dark part of my life. It started when I was in middle school. My parents got divorced, and I was looking for positive attention, and I would get it when I was hurt. So I started cutting, and I'd usually end up in the emergency room and got lots of stitches. And then it became something else. It became more ritualistic and very, very dangerous.
So I personally know nothing about cutting. I hear about it, I see it on the news sometimes I hear somebody does it, but why, like somebody like me, could you tell me like why would you cut? Like why in the world would you be cutting?
A lot of people don't understand. It's basically your emotional pain hurts so much that it numbs you and to physical pain, and you want to have some kind of pain, so you cut. And that physical pain and the burning, it burns when you cut yourself, it just numbs that emotional pain.
Wow.
And it becomes very addicting, and it can be very dangerous. I stopped when I was in grad school. I cut myself really bad, and I ended up in the emergency room and had to have blood transfusion. And that scared me, and for some reason I haven't done it since then. I've had urges once in a while when I get so emotional that I can't deal with the emotions, and I just want to feel physical pain, because the physical pain eventually goes away, where the emotional pain is just there and it takes longer to like release or go away.
Do you cut because that gives you attention from people? Or
Well, at the beginning, that's what it was. I was getting positive attention. I was hurting really bad. But then in high school and college, it changed. It was more, I was dealing with a lot of emotional pain. I went to school in Pittsburgh, and I had my first hospitalization for mental illness, and I cut a lot then. I came home and went to a local university, and I was just hurting so much, and then I was diagnosed with bipolar first.
So, so how are you now with this?
I don't have urges anymore. I think that's from the grace of God. I still have the scars. When I was in early 2000, I had surgery to try to get rid of the scars, because I worked with kids and they would ask me and stuff. And it failed, as you can see, and it's actually kind of worse looking, because they put a tissue expander surgery where they put a bladder underneath and like make your arm look like Popeye, and then they use your own skin. And the first surgery went well. The second surgery got infected, and this is what I have now. And I think God wanted me to keep my scars to share with others that there is hope in Jesus Christ to help you get through this. And
so if I'm a parent, which I am a parent of teens, and or even if I'm out and about in school or somewhere, and what are some of the, like, if you can take us back, and if it's not too painful, and say, what are some of the signs that we could be looking for, or like what can I do as a dad, or as somebody who's just out there?
The biggest thing is you'll notice that if your child will cover their arms or cover their legs. Like if you had a child that wore short sleeves and didn't, they're really like, they'll hold it down and stuff like that because they don't want you to see it. Some girls will cut on their abdomen. So it's a little bit harder to see, but also that they can be really kind of depressed, maybe angry, because sometimes children or young adults will show depression through anger. And, they just change. They're in their room a lot. They're by themselves a lot because they're doing this. Yeah. They might be up late. Their sleep pattern, you might notice they're too tired. And that's when, you have to they're going to hate you, but you're going to have to take them to a doctor and try to address it. And then there's some kids you just have to take everything out of their room and, not let them have anything that they could cut with. I mean, kids can become very ingenious with things to cut with, kind of like prisoners making things. But it is pretty, usually young girls, middle school, high school, it's a hard time. Girls are worse than boys. I'm not saying boys don't do this.
Yeah, sure.
But, and it's through any kind of demographic. It could be well-off family. It could be a poor family. It could be a Christian household. It could be, it doesn't see race. It doesn't see color, anything. But it's very dangerous.
Can you talk a little bit about, just for a few more minutes, about what condition were you were in, some sort of mental state or condition, or what state were you in when you did it for the first time? What was that thing that you finally said, you just did it, you just went for it?
I was really mad at my mom for divorcing my dad. I didn't know the full story. I blamed her for him leaving, but really it was him. And I was mad and angry. And I remember I was in our basement, stairwell, the old house, and I just kind of put my hand through the glass, and it was an old door window, and it just cut really bad. And my mom came, and she was being compassionate towards me because I was hurt, and I really cut in here on my hand, and it was really bad because the nurse actually passed out when they were doing some prep work. And I just noticed I got this really good positive attention because I was kind of a wild child. I was in the corner a lot. And I spent a lot of time in the corner. And it was just nice getting that attention. But then when I got to high school, it was really bad just being picked on. And back then, not many parents were divorced. So I was already the weird kid. And it was worse because my parents were divorced. So I just got picked on a lot, and it was just easier to deal with the pain by cutting. And it became ritualistic, and it got really bad. Because of my Asperger's, there's a lot of obsessive compulsive ritualistic behavior. It's not obsessive compulsive behavior. It's more ritualistic. I have to do this, so this happens, It's a slightly different. It's similar, but different. But by the grace of God, I stopped in grad school, and I've had urges years ago, but not now, because God's protected me from that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. It's one of those topics that not a lot of people talk about.
No, they don't want to talk about this.
I appreciate you telling your story.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.